folks, we're back in action. Season 21 of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship. About to get underway here tonight from Sebring. You're watching Super Pole for round one of the GT2 Championship. And it seems like it's been forever since we've been racing, but we're finally back in action here. This week is Super Pole week here at NAGP. We got GT2 starting tonight, GT1 on Thursday night, and it's an exciting week. And before we go any further, I'm going to welcome my broadcast partner here tonight, Rich Roman, GT1 champion. Rich, welcome.
Thank you, Al. How's it going, everybody? And it's another season to put in the books here. Get started here. Happy to fill in for Brad. I'll try to do my best to bring you all the information that Brad normally brings on a regular Monday night event. And glad to start the season off. It seems like you said, it's been a long break.
Yeah, happy to have you here with me tonight, Rich. As you mentioned, Brad out on assignment this week. He should be back next week for the two-hour feature race from Sebring. Just want to make sure my outbound's okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I can try adjusting it. All right, so like we mentioned, coming to you live from Sebring. Right out of the chute, last season's GT2 champion, Andres Prieto, taking that Gumpert to the top of the timesheets here in practice, currently in the pit lane. But we're running a new version of Sebring this season. It's the first time we're running this layout. It's actually not much different than the previous iteration of Sebring. It's there's a track map there. 17 corners. The main difference in this particular version of Sebring is the final straight is not as long and a little more forgiving. That final corner was a bit hairy in the previous version. Also, the curbing's a bit taller here, especially noticeable in the first, the S's there, turns 3, 4, and 5. And through the hairpin, that chicane there is a bit quicker than in the past. Rich, not sure if you've had a chance to run around here, but it's a pretty nice layout. It also got a proper pit lane here in this version, so no more driving through the grass.
Yeah, I ran some laps. I noticed the differences. You know, some of the corners, at least, I didn't do a whole lot of laps. Seemed a little bit slower to me, but that could just be that I'm too used to driving the GT1. But the other thing I noticed is you can definitely get a lot more. You can use the curbs a little bit more, but they popping over them, you don't get stuck in like that gravel we kind of used to have. So you can run two tires off in the dirt a little bit and probably not really lose too much speed.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. Some parts of the track seemed a bit slower, but judging based on previous times we've run here, the lap times are a bit quicker. It's been some time since we ran this track here in GT2, but the lap times are about a second and a half faster than previous, and it could come down to that final corner there. It's a lot quicker than it used to be, and a little bit shorter. But we got a full, pretty large grid here tonight. We have GT2. We had 38 guys registered to partake this season. Currently have 30 in the server now. I know a couple of guys have been bouncing in and out, so we're just waiting for everyone to get in here before we go live. Some new teams here to talk about tonight. We're watching one of them, David Poole, and this guy here, Salem Montgomery Jr., have teamed up. I should say Salem has joined 05 Motorsport. They've been quite successful here in the past. Have yet to to lock up a championship, either drivers or teams, but they seem to be right there, especially David Poole in the drivers' championship every season, both GT2 and GT1.
Yeah, this should make for an interesting season. I see Alex White is back in the was that the Z4 there, and I think some of these guys were talking about running in the 58s for qualifying. So we'll see what happens shortly.
Yeah, Alex White is back with his teammate David Rowley. There's some question there whether they were going to be back together again, but they are. WWRL7, don't ask me what it stands for, but they are back. Chris Moses has a new teammate this season, Thomas Schubeck. Although I don't see him in the server here tonight, I'm not sure what's up with Tommy, but I know he was out in practice doing quite a bit of laps, so
yeah, Tommy's a good teammate to have. Now that I think about it, I do remember him saying that he was in the middle of a move, so maybe he's missing tonight because of that. But that's a Tommy was my teammate last season, and he's a great guy to put in a ton of laps and just give you a little bit of information, a little bit of feedback, and can really help you develop a setup. I think because you can throw ideas at him and come back with some changes and stuff like that.
I'm going to try and adjust my volume here. Hang on one second. Alright, hopefully that's a bit better. But let's run down the format here tonight for Super Bowl. We're about to go to qualifying. Qualifying is going to be a 45-minute session, open session, due to the size of the track and the size of the field. Occasionally, certain tracks where, especially here in GT2, we can do a single lap qualifying event, but given the nature of this circuit here, we're going to run a 45-minute open session. The top two qualifiers in that session will be guaranteed their starting positions for next week's 2-hour feature race. Following qualifying, we'll have a 30-minute sprint race. Should run about 14 laps tonight, and the results of that sprint race will determine the starting positions for the rest of the field. So we've been doing Super Bowl for quite some time, and it's pretty exciting racing, to say the least. Especially an event like tonight to start the season. It's guys have been itching to get back, and really excited to get this underway. Hopefully the guys have gotten the rust out, and we can have a semi-clean opening night here. But we'll soon see.
Well, I think with the amount of new people we have, and it's nothing against their driving skills or anything like that, it's just the fact that now you got a bunch of new people that you haven't raced around, and you can throw that into the mix. And I think it's going to be an interesting night. It's going to be pretty busy, and hey, look, it's we might even get some rain or something like that. So anything can happen, and Super Bowl is great because that really puts the pressure on the guys. Some of our guys that are used to being, fast lap in and lap out, or doing multiple laps to get that fast lap is great. But when you can only have one lap to do it, sometimes some people crack under the pressure and do a little bit worse than they normally would.
Yeah, so we got quite a few new guys here tonight. Alejandro Nieto, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He is new. Fellow from Colombia, Mike Trussler. I believe he's from the UK. He'll be in the vet. We'll see him tonight. Phil Hooks is back for another season. Ravi Monagaran, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. Apologies if I butchered that. And AJ Balan, also newcomers here tonight. So we're just waiting for this session to get underway here. Should be moving on here momentarily. See Alex White have dipped into the low 59s, nearly 58, 59 flat in the Z4. So most likely we'll see a pole lap in the 58s, as you mentioned, Roman.
Yeah. Once we go over to qualifying, get a little more grip out there, depending on what the temperatures do and all that, I think you'll see these guys. They'll be in the 58s. Plus, I don't think they're doing single lap qualifying runs yet. I think a lot of these guys are running multiple laps, so I think those times are going to drop.
Out of your end, and Ian Jolicoeur back. Kung Fu Racing. These guys have won several GT2 team championships. Certainly, they'll be looking to capture another one this season. They always seem to be right in the mix. They came on strong late in the season last season. Had a late surge, but came up just short.
Yeah, but that's, with Ian's schedule, he tends to miss races. I used to sub for them an awful lot. And with me being running the full schedule last season with Schubeck, I don't know who else they got up there, if they had anyone subbing with them or not. But yeah, they could come back again. You never know. He might be able to make the majority of their races and put in a strong effort again.
Esteban Palacio and Mike Monahan, they'll be back this season in the Jaguars. Last season they competed in the Corvettes, but they switched to the Jag this season. Chow Mein Moto led most of season 20 in the team championship. I think it came down to the last race of the season where they just got edged out by Team Columbia, who ended up winning the championship, Andres Preto and Juan Monroy. So no doubt a heartbreaking end to the season for those guys. I know they were battling hard there up until the end, but look for them to have another consistent run and another attempt to fight for that championship.
Yeah, last season we had, I want to say 3 or 4 teams in the championship hunt right to the end as far as the team championship goes, and I know it was a tough fought battle there between a lot of those teams. So I mean, yeah, we can end up having another one of those this season,
Yeah, so just to give you Team Columbia, and as we move over to qualifying, Team Columbia ended up winning the championship with 228 points. As I mentioned, Kung Fu Racing with that late surge, they ended up finishing second with 220, and Chow Mein Moto, who led most of the season, ended up finishing third with 210 points. But it's a new season here at NAGP, and we're underway here with Super Pole qualifying, 45-minute open session. So plenty of time for these guys to put a lap down. As Mikey Monahan will be the first to act here. Let's ride along with Mikey here on his out lap. Hopefully he can keep it on track. So yeah, that part of the track's a lot quicker than it used to be. That through the hairpin there, it was a little tighter last time, a little trickier to get through, but now it's, you go through that hairpin, it's just wide open. As mentioned, the track's 17 corners. Rather quick circuit, Rich. What do you think? Who would have the advantage here tonight? Power over handling, I would assume.
Yeah, no, that's tough. Andres Preto's in the Gumpert, I believe. That's going to be a strong car with the amount of downforce that creates. Sebring's always been a downforce track. But you never know. I didn't get to do enough laps to really tell for sure what's going to be the case here. Sprint race, I would say maybe a power car is going to win the sprint race, but then when we get to the feature race, that opens up the door to Alex White, especially in the Z4 fuel mileage and stuff like that.
Yep, better fuel equals less time in the pit lane. There's where those handling cars have the advantage at certain tracks. You see a track like Monza, which we'll be running this season. Definitely a high-powered circuit. Power cars have an advantage, but at the same time, some of these handling cars will be able to double stint tires in a track like that, and. I mean, something you've seen stranger things happen in the past. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Exactly.
Yep. Anything's possible.
So Mikey Monahan should be the first to cross the line here and set a time. As one of the Jags goes off. Mikey hard on the throttle. See where he ends up. To P1 with a 201 flat. And now all the time, David Poole takes that right back. Chris Moses sets provisional pole with the 59. Alex White on a hot lap. Oh, looks like he's getting a little help from his teammate. This should be a nice time for him. His teammate, not sure if he's close enough to slow him down, but he'll be slowing him down now. That's where Alex ends up, to P1 with a 58.1. Wow. So you weren't lying. We may see a 57 here soon enough. As Andres Preto, currently in P2 . in the Gumpert. Prato with a 59.2, Moses 59.6, and David Poole 59.9.
Andres is only 2/10 off of Alex White's time right now in the first sector.
So early in this session, Andres looks like he'll also be in the 58s. Let's jump on board with him. Hey, Brad Maris checking in. Nice to see Brad able to tune in and watch the festivities here tonight. Prato down the Almond Straight, very long straight. A little wide on the exit, not too bad. See where he ends up. Let's drop back to fourth as Marty Uran has jumped into P3. Moses to P2 with a 58.7. On board with Marty Uren with behind the wheel of McLaren MP412C. Oh, looks like Tiago Canola's watching the race tonight. I think Tiago would have some competition here tonight, the likes of Alex White and some of these other guys.
Well, the times are dropping. Got 4 guys now in the 58s, and still 37 more minutes to go.
A long night of racing for you guys here tonight as Marty does not improve. 7/10 off provisional pole. Still held by Alex White with a 58.1. As White about to begin a hot lap. Let's jump on board with Alex for this lap. The previous lap he was getting some little help from his teammate David Rowley, giving him a bit of a tow. See how he does here. This section of the track's a little tighter. He can't get on the throttle as quick as you used to. As he approaches the hairpin, exit of this hairpin's a lot more wide open here. You can really get on the throttle and get out of there quicker. You see guys get a little out of shape on the exit of that corner at times, and easy to lose it there.
Yeah, those new infield sections, a lot slipperier than before. Definitely a little bit tighter. Can't take as much speed through the turns as the previous versions that we've run.
And into turn 15, and then this is turn 16 here, known as Le Mans Corner, and then on to the Almond Straight. Very smooth, very consistent, and very fast. Doesn't look like he's fighting the car at all. Let's see if he's able to get into the 57s. He does. 57.7. Wow. So, over a second up on P2. Chris Moses. Looks like he's going for another one. So you were right, Roman. These guys were holding back a little bit in practice as Alex White really lays down the gauntlet early in qualifying here, 35 minutes in. Looking further back.
Yeah.
Looking further back, Andres Prieto currently in P4. David Poole running in P5. His teammate, Sale Montgomery Jr., was looking very quick in practices. David Raleigh up to P6. Going to be a lot of pressure on Raleigh to perform this season. Hasn't had many results. Had a lot of starts, not many results in the past few seasons, but if they go ahead.
They've been getting on him to trying to show up and stay awake.
Well, if they want a shot at that team title, they're gonna need Raleigh to perform there.
That's for certain. Can't do it on a one-man team.
Well, Jaime Moore looking pretty racy here, up to P9 in the Porsche. Jaime, Colombian. A lot of cars on track at the moment. Although I don't see much in the way of traffic. Doesn't look to be too bad. These guys giving themselves some space here as Moore's dropped down to 11th in the span of a couple corners. Aaron Parsons way back in 12th. A little surprised by that in that Audi R8. You'd think that car would be a little quicker here. Maybe Parsons just struggling here early on. But a little surprised to see him this far back. Nine-tenths off in the first split. So not getting it done in the first sector. We'll keep an eye on him as probably one of the winningest drivers here at NAGP. Alejandro Nieto in the M3. Newcomer here this season, running in 14th, and well, looking pretty good for a newcomer. To be honest with you, a lot of new guys that come into this league are a bit shocked by the pace some of these guys have, and to see him up in the top 15 so far this time right now in qualifying, and he just jumps up to P11. So.
Well, I think a lot of people, they come in, they look at the league and they see some of the lap times, and sometimes they don't know what the conditions are, and they think, oh, I can run those lap times until they get here, and then, like you said, they get a big shocker.
Yep, a little shock to the system, never hurt anybody. Just get you to work a little harder. Marco Conti, P13. Juan Monroy. Monroy a little off the pace of his teammate as Prieto. Last time we saw him, he was up to P4. Monroy struggling here back in P14. Monroy, a competition index winner in GT1 last season. He had a great run. I think he ended up finishing 5th in the points. Took home a nice prize. Jaime Moore, we mentioned him. He's back to 15th. Was up to 9th. Ian Jolicoeur. Here's another shock at Jolicoeur running 17th. Not sure how much time he spent in the car. Well, as he jumps up to P10. Jolicoeur certainly very quick and got several wins under his belt.
You know, I think the biggest problem, which is the norm, is these guys are just running into lap traffic. It's really hard to get a really good lap in, really get the most out of the car when you have 30 guys on the serve in the race.
Yeah, it can be a bit frustrating at times. We all know that. We got about 30 minutes left here in qualifying. Failed to mention track temperature is 82 degrees Fahrenheit, ambient 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Alex Scott currently at P11, he's in the Audi. Mikey Monahan's jumped up to P13. Dan Wilkerson in the Viper. He was actually looking pretty racy. Him and Matt Taylor as well in the Dodge Viper. These guys are running a full Viper season this season. Running the Viper here in GT2 and the Viper in GT1. Not so sure how much they're going to enjoy that Viper in GT1, but all power to them. It's a fast car, but man.
You know, it really just comes down to driving style. If you can get the car in and just point it and shoot kind of thing, the Viper can work out really well for you. If you try to make the car handle, it's just not going to handle. You really got to use the power to its maximum potential and learn how to drive it that way.
Well, Rich, you drove this this new Viper here in GT2. What were your thoughts on that car?
I think it was a really nice, stable car, real easy to drive. There's some the drag has been reduced since I've driven it, so it should be a faster car this season. And the gearing, I believe, was changed as well, which was part of the problem with it that it topped out in 6th gear. So overall, it should be a little bit better car. It's a great, like I said, it's a great car, really stable. And you just gotta, if you can get it to work for you, it can do really well.
Well, actually, I did sit in for you, I think, one race I don't know if it was last season. I think it was last season. I didn't really enjoy it, but hey. I couldn't get it to work for me, to be honest with you. But let's hope.
And that's,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the thing with the Viper. It's one of those cars you got to drive it a lot to kind of get to know it, and then even then it was still a handful. Not a handful, easy to drive, but just hard to get the speed out of it.
Well, that Aim High Racing team of Matt Taylor and Dan Wilkerson, let's hope they can reel that thing in. As Christian Hamilton running along here in P21, we've been following him around for a little bit. Lou Mascarelli, Liquid Lou, apparently P22. Met up with Lou a couple weeks ago at the ALMS race at Lime Rock. It's nice to see him again. It could have been the hottest day on earth ever. Both of us almost dropped dead, but we managed to survive. And it was a good time. Mike Trussler, another new guy here in the Corvette. Mike from the UK, I believe. At least his accent sounds like he's from the UK. Driving the C6. He was actually looking pretty good in practice as well. Just not sure if he's had a tough start to qualifying here. Still just over 25 minutes left to run. Kevin Miller, Team Blue Gloves, they're back in that all-new Aston Martin. Sharp-looking vehicle. These guys, many times last couple seasons, found themselves up in the top 10 a few times. Kevin and Brian. Had a tendency to fade a few times late in the races. But let's hope they got that straightened out and see some point scoring finishes for those guys. They deserve it. They work hard. John Mold in the YouTube Nissan. Now this is a car I expected a lot of people to jump all over, and surprisingly enough, not many people did. I don't know if it was the Pirellis on it or they just Didn't like the feel or the power of the car.
You know, yeah, the GT2 Nissan I don't think has been looked at that much yet. You know, who knows, maybe John will do something with it. Maybe they'll open up some eyes.
Jack Ivy, he's back in the 458 Italia. It's a new model this season, sharp looking car. Jack had some pretty nice runs last season. I think he scored points a couple times, so look for Jack to improve. Currently P26. Phil Hooks, P27, currently in the pits. Driving that Z4. There's Brian Story, other half of Team Blue Gloves. 28. John Wathen, languishing back in 29th. Well, surprised to see that John that far back. I figured that Lambo would be a bit quicker, a bit further up the grid. That was the car to have a few seasons ago. And Ravi currently P30, making his way out. That's it right now. We got, I know a few guys dropped. Missing a few. I know Canavan and Kevin Savoy. They had just signed up today. I think they're going to make their appearance next week, as is Tom Schubeck. Schubeck not able to make it tonight. So Long also out, so we expect Soul to be back.
Some going to be some big grids in the coming weeks.
Oh yeah, just how we like them. Big and unstable. So, Alex White continues to lead the way here, P1. Andres Preto, meanwhile, has jumped up to P2 in the Gumper. He's about to complete a hot lap. He's way off, so...
What do you think of that AMG that Chris is in there?
Yeah, I don't actually mind that car. I drove it a little bit, and it was it doesn't feel as fast as it is. You know, it's one of those cars that, to me, it feels slow, but kind of like for me with the Viper, it feels slow, but it can move. You know. Speaking of Moses, currently P3 in that Mercedes. It's got a very nice tone to it, that's for sure. Well, there's Schubeck checking in on the broadcast. Letting his teammate down. Hopefully he can jump in quali 2 and join up for the qualifying race. Schubeck claims he has taken over management of PMR, Precision Motor Racing, both GT1 and GT2. So I guess he calls the shots now. He can come and go as he pleases. We'll soon find out. As Moses exiting the final corner. Pretty decent looking lap. Not improve. Now Brad Maris is starting to give Schubeck a hard time in the broadcast chat.
I'll have to check that out.
So no improvement for Moses as Marty Uren continues along here in P4.
Surprising that Ian's almost a second off Marty's pace.
Well, we talked about Aaron Parsons earlier. He was way back in the field. He has now jumped up to P5 in the Audi R8. So he's found the groove here tonight, and something tells me he may actually move up a couple more positions. Had a bit of a bobble there on this lap, so I don't think he is going to better his time, but looks like he's not sure what he's doing. He's trying to put some heat in the tires. Pirellis can take a couple laps to get heat in them, especially the conditions the way they are now. It's track temperature isn't very hot. They're more suited for a hotter track temperature. At least that's the way I felt when I drove. Most of the cars I've driven, I believe in, have been Pirelli shod cars, and they seem to do better when the track's hot.
Yes, definitely. Pirelli's just, for me, it's always worked a little better. If it's too cold, I always need to get a little bit of heat in before I can get them to work for me.
Hard on the brakes. See where he is at the first split. Not too bad, 6/10 off. Should see Aaron pick up some time here in this middle sector. It's a little bit quicker. That C4 and the Gumper are going to have an advantage in sector 1. As Aaron approaches some lap traffic for the Astons. Oh, and he backs off. He was about nearly a second off. David Poole has dipped back to P6. David Poole in the Pirelli shod McLaren. This was a surprise pick for me. I would never have expected these guys to jump in this car. I always figured David to be a Michelin guy. I know he complains a lot about the Dunlops and the yokes, but
yeah, maybe he just wanted that McLaren. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I don't see Salem Montgomery Jr. in the server. I was wondering, I hadn't seen him, and it's because he's not there.
Oh, he's been practicing. He must have dropped just as it switched over. That's a shame. He was running some pretty good laps too. He was, I want to say I seen him. Well, I knew he was in the 59s easily. I think he would be in the 58s, maybe mid 58s. So that's a shame.
I think you're right, because he had some good pace going for himself. Jaime Moore up to P7. Comes out just ahead of Rally. That could have been disastrous, as Rally was, looks like to be on a hot lap. But Jaime Moore really got a handle on that Porsche here in qualifying. P7, that's pretty impressive for that car. That was a car a lot of people wanted to grab. That was a top pick for a lot of guys, a lot of teams. And Matt Taylor, we spoke about Matt doing well in the Viper, and there he is, up to P8 in the top 10. So Matt looking very quick in that Viper.
Yeah, that's a car that, like I said, it's a good car, and it's been improved a little bit. So I'm not surprised at all. That's a nice time there.
With Matt. back. That's Alex White all over the back of Matt. There's Alex White parks it. Let's ride along with Matt Taylor here. Looks like Matt just dropped down to P9, so someone... Oh, Jolie Core.
Yeah, Ian Jolker. Yep.
So Jolie Core finally found his stride up to P7. Strange note there. It sounded like he almost the car stuck in neutral or something briefly. Oh yeah, lost a bunch of time. So Matt probably will not improve here. He's over 2 seconds off. That's something I like to see. Matt knew he was off the pace. He was up on a guy in front of him and backs off, gives himself a little bit of space.
That goes a long way in my book. You know, nothing's better than when you have guys out there that, you know, realize they screwed up their lap, and if there's a faster guy coming up on them, they get out of the way, or they back off and start over again. That's a nice thing to see.
So, no change up front as Alex White remains up top. He hasn't improved on his lap time. Let's see his laps. He nearly did his last lap, 57.7. So most of his laps have been in the 57s. Prato continues to run here in P2. We got about 12 minutes left to go.
You know, I'm not going to be surprised at all if you see some of these lap times get even a little bit quicker, another 6 minutes or so.
Let's try a different camera angle. He's just trying to improve his qualifying position. You know he's doing his damnedest to get up at least a second. That way he'll be guaranteed that front row starting position next week. That goes a long way.
Oh yeah. That you know, something I don't want to really talk about, but I'm going to mention it. You know, you lock in that first and second spot. That means you can drive a little bit harder in that sprint race. Maybe take a chance or two that you normally wouldn't take.
Points awarded tonight for Paul and for your results in the sprint race. So, and these championships continue to get tighter and tighter. So every point counts. So you get 1 point for pole, 3 for winning the sprint race, 3, 2, and 1 for the podiums, for the podium finishes. So. Max 4 points total for this first round, Super Bowl round. Ooh, Moses. He took it into the wall, saving his braking a little late.
Yeah, he's just overdriving the car a little bit right now.
Let's take a look at that gap. He's only a little over 10th and a half off of Prato for that second spot. Uren's only 3/10 off, so see where Marty's in the pit lane.
Alex just had a power failure. Alex just knocked off another 3/10.
Yep, up to drop down to a 57.4. So I think at this point for him, he could probably take a little break. Be confident that no one's probably going to touch his time, but as that gap's over a second between him and Prato. Any more on outlap? A lot of these guys on outlaps. Joe LaCour. Joe LaCour is a guy to watch, as he could surprise people with a quick lap. Drop it a gear. That's not going to help. And Matt Taylor still in the top 10, so Matt continues that good run. Marco Conti running 10th. We got 8 minutes to go. Conti looking strong in that Lamborghini Gallardo. He must have made a mistake. He's 5 seconds off there in Sector 2. Monroy's jumped up to P11. He was way back there for a while, but he's moved that car up. Still not quite the pace his teammate has, but still putting in the work that needs to be done. Rally back in 12th. Felipe Triana. Felipe running in P13. So a lot of these guys who, seeing some guys who struggled a bit last season in qualifying, finding themselves up quite a few positions here. So we had somebody go off there, not sure who that was. Alejandro Nieto, 14th. Mikey Monahan back in 15th. A little surprised to see these guys, Chow Mein Moto, that far back. His teammate in 16th. So these guys appear to be struggling a bit here tonight in that Jaguar.
Yeah, that Jaguar.
I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, that's not one of my favorite cars at all, and that's a little bit of a surprising pick for those guys.
So you see those guys struggling there as they just dropped back another position, 16th and 17th. So a little surprising there. Christian Hamilton up to 18th. Dan Wilkerson, 19th. Rodrigo Triana up to 20th. John Houston, P21. A little surprised to see Houston that far back. His teammate is in the top 5, I believe. Wathan still back there in 22nd. Mascarelli running 23rd. Mike Trussler 24th. Kevin Miller 25th. And his teammate Brian Story's running 26th. That's a little surprising as well. Jack Ivey, P27. John Mole, 28th. Phil Hooks, 29th. Ravi, 30th. I know Ravi's teammate, AJ Ballin, who's scheduled to race tonight. He may show up there here in Quali 2. But let's take a look at the times as looks like we had somebody drop. I'm not sure who that was.
I'm looking.
nobody in the top 5, I believe.
Nope.
So we're on board with Moses as he tries to... He's on a hot lap and he's got Andres right ahead of him. That's the guy he's trying to get by. 3/10 off here in Sector 1. Andres lets him go.
Get out, he just needs to let him go.
Oh, he blew it, yep. He's pushing a little too hard. He's got 4 minutes left. He might be able to get one in if he acts fast.
That's a tough thing here with all this traffic. You know, I mean, look how many cars he had in front of him there.
So Preto continues to run here at P2. Moses heading back out. Ooh, it's going to be close. He may have time to get that in if he's got to really hammer it on his outlet. Marty, you're in. Let's ride along with him as he's another guy looking to climb up there into the top 2. Nearly got into the back of Marty. Marty looks like he's gonna park it. He's done. Parsons on a hot lap. Heard another guy fall off. I'm not sure who that was either. As Parsons 5/10 off in Sector 1. This is a guy who could doesn't look like he's got the pace for pole, but could find himself in that second spot. Under 2 minutes to go here in qualifying. We'll have a 30-minute qualifying race immediately following this session. So hang in there. It's some more great racing yet to come. My name's Al Maramon, and I'm joined by Rich Roman here tonight in the broadcast. Rich bringing you his expert analysis. GT1 champion himself. A regular partner here as Parsons does not improve. Moses on his hot lap. He's got a minute to go. It's going to be tight.
He's got a clear track in front of him.
He certainly does. Probably the first time tonight. My regular broadcast partner Brad Maris out on assignment, so that's why Rich is here tonight. Brad should be back next week. As Moses off 7/10 in Sector 1, but he could reel that back in here in the second half of this track.
Well, and again, that's only 7/10 off of Alex White.
Right.
Andres is still a full second off, so that's still in the ballgame to get that second spot at least.
Oh, his time's up. Oh, he washes away a little bit. That same mistake. I'm sure that's going to cost him.
Yeah.
So
Monroy's finishing up his lap.
See where Monroy ends up. Checkers are out. Does not improve.
Yeah, he moved up to 10.
Oh, there you go. I thought he was already in 10th. Alright, so nice job by Monroy. Well, there you have it. Alex White and Andres Preto locking in their starting position next week. Alex White with that extra bonus point for pole. Wow. Just Andres barely managed to keep it under a second. And but just a dominating performance here tonight for Alex.
Yeah, not all that surprised. A little surprised by the difference in lap times there, but see what happens here in the sprint race.
Got some guys starting to file in here. Up, Schubeck made it in. Montgomery's in. So as this session winds down, we're going to move to a warm-up, 5-minute warm-up session, and then on to the race. So while we got a few minutes here, I just want to point out to everybody, I should have mentioned this earlier, but it's a new season for me as well, and broadcasting, sometimes you forget things. So, but you can mosey on over to NorthAmericanGP.com. From there you can click on the GT2 live timing and follow your favorite driver here on track as we head over to the qualifying race here coming up. So it'll give you gaps and lap times, positions, etc. So a good little tool to follow if we're not following the guy you're watching. Well, also while we got a minute here, back at NorthAmericanGP.com, we still have a bunch of shirts available. NAGP t-shirts. Just click on the logo there, and you can go ahead and buy yourself a shirt. $20. Get you a nice NAGP t-shirt. Roman, you got one of those t-shirts, right?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, Al.
It's a quality t-shirt, right?
Very nice t-shirt. I like it a lot.
There you go. So order it up and impress all your friends and your girlfriends. So we've moved over to warm-up. Looks like Ravi has dropped out.
Got a lot of guys who came in at the end here. Kevin Savoy, Schubeck, Alejandro, Felipe Triana, and I think Gregory Myers and Ian Jolker.
so Ian dropped out. That's a shame for Ian. He was up near the front. So we're going to have some really quick guys in the back starting this race. So, well, it is going to be interesting to say the least. Well, while we got a few minutes here, I'm just going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
While Al's away, get a quick look at, we've got a couple of good fast guys starting front and back. Namely Angelica, Kevin Sodawad, Greg Myers, Thomas Schubeck, and one of our newcomers, Alejandro Ito, I think that's the way you say his name, I'm positive. Hopefully I don't murder anyone's names today. And should be a pretty interesting race with Dallas White, who's training working on it. And left along here. See what everyone's going to do. A lot of clouds here. Don't know if we're going to be getting any rain or not, but it's certainly been cloudy the last few sessions. So anything's possible.
After that shunt, I don't think Alex White's going to be able to start this qualifying race. The mackerel. Sorry about that delay. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Well, Rich, what are you expecting here tonight? The start of this race is going to be, it should be pretty decent. We got some good guys up front, but the back is what interests me, as we have some pretty quick guys back there. Joe Lacour, Savoie. It's going to be interesting to see how they wind their way through traffic here as we go off to the race. Rich, you copy?
Copy that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see who gets off the line the best here. I mean, you got Alex. It's a tough one to call here. I mean, Chris is in third there. He got a lot of torque with that Mercedes. He might be able to, jump these guys on the start. So anything can happen going into this first corner.
Well, we got about a minute and a half here before we go. Let's run down the starting order real quick. From first, Alex White taking pole. Second, Prato. Third, Chris Moses. Fourth, Marty Uren. Aaron Parsons. Fifth, David Poole. Sixth, Dave Rowley. Seventh, Jaime Moore. Eighth, Juan Monroy will start. Ninth, 10th, Marco Carney. 11th, Alex Scott. 12th, Esteban Palacio. 13th, Mikey Monahan. 14th, Christian Hamilton. Dan Wilkerson. 15th, 16th, John Watson. Michael Trussler, 17th. John Houston, 18th. 19th, Lou Mascarelli. 20th, Kevin Miller. 21st, Brian Story. 22nd, Jack Ivey. 23rd, Phil Hooks. 24th, AJ Balin. 25th, Sam Rolfe. 26th, Salem Montgomery Jr. Triada, Rodrigo Triada. 27th, John Moll. 28th, Mike Bratrix. 29th, 30th, Ian Jolacour. 31st, Greg Myers. 32nd, Kevin Savoie. 33rd, Tom Schubeck. And bringing up the rear, Alejandro Nieto must have disconnected because he was running pretty well. As Alex White brings it into the pits. As season 21, Super Pole for round 1 from Sebring about to get underway.
Oh no, as it's still on the pit.
GT2. He missed it. He missed getting on the grid. And we're off. As Prato gets off to a dynamite start as Rowley does some wall sampling up near the back early on. Well, Prato might have run a little bit wide. It's going to allow White to get a run on him. Oh, Prato hangs on to that position. So great start as Moses gets run into in the back a little bit by Jaime Moore, but manages to hang on to it. Nice save by Moses. Moore with a great start has jumped up to P4. Marty Uren losing that position to Moore.
And we've lost Alex Scott already. Aaron Parsons and Esteban Palacio is in the garage.
Not sure what happened there, if it was contact or...
I think Esteban suffered from a little technical difficulty. Hasn't never made it to the starting grid, and I never saw what happened else.
So, White putting the pressure on Prato as these two start to put a little bit of distance between third place there, Chris Moses. As Prato putting with some really good pace here early on. Feeling the heat though. Incredible first lap. As White looking to make the move going into the final corner. Gumper's no slouch down the straight.
Oh, the Gumper's got the inside line.
Defending GT2 champions. Season 20 and Season 19 duking it out here early on. Let's take a look further back as Moses running in P3. As White taking a look on the outside. Oh, this is a tight one here to start this race. Almost don't want to get away from it. These guys are really going at it. Moses running third. Marty Uren back and forth. Rally up to 6th. Marco Conti made a great start. Started, I believe, 10th or 11th. He's up to P7. Monroy now running in P8. Houston also with a great start, running in P9. Kevin Miller up to P11. Duking it out with David Pohl. So, as I mentioned earlier, Kevin Miller qualified well, but finds himself just outside the top 10. I don't know how he does it, but he seems to do it every race.
Had a lot of contact in the back of the pack, and now they're starting to... there's still a little more contact going in the back there, but starting to sort it out a little bit.
Tressler up to P21. Lawton looks like he's got a little bit of damage to the back of his Lambo. He's running in 23rd. Dan Wilkerson 24th. Alejandro Nieto 25th. Ooh, Schubeck. Schubeck, the front of that Mercedes, a bit deformed. Not sure what happened to him. He's still out there.
Yeah, there was a big schmozzle.
Sam Rolfe made it in that Pano. Is currently running P28. And Graytrix in 29th. Kevin Savoy running P30. Back at P31. Palacio, you mentioned it. Palacio has parked it. So back up front, we're on board with Marty Uren. These points are huge for the Drivers' Championship. There's no doubt Alex White's going to try and wants to get out of here with max points. Giving Prato all he can handle. That Gumper, though, you got to hand it to Prato. He's doing a great job here early on, holding off the surge of Alex White. This is how the 2-hour race is going to be. Man, I'm going to pass out. Can't keep up with it.
Yeah, you got Marty all over Chris, and you got White all over Prato.
Moore looking great. Starting here running P5 early on. This race should go 14 laps. Ooh, as White tries the old over-under move on Prato. Prato defended on the inside, but Prato's going to have the advantage going into the next corner. Alex going to make the pass on the outside, and he gets it done. Wow. That took about a half a mile to get that done. But man, wow. Now Prato losing some momentum there.
That's bunched everybody up.
Yep. Under the clutches of Chris Moses now. At this stage of the race, Rich, are you, if you're here in the top 5, are you content where you are? Are you pushing to try to get points, or try and keep it conservative and secure that top 5 start position? position.
You know, you got to go for it. I mean, everyone's so close still. Alex hasn't checked out yet. He makes a mistake, and just makes it, brings everyone right back in the game again. I think everyone's still trying their hardest to pass everybody, and everybody should be fighting for position, basically trying to get that best starting position they can get for that 2-hour race.
David Poole running P9, trying to chase down Juan Monroy. McLaren doesn't seem to be able to pull that number down the straight. As Poole throws it on the inside, see if he can make it stick. He does. Wow. Ambitious pass, and he makes it work. I think that might have caught Monroy off guard a little bit. Just let him have it. As Poole now tries to reel Marco Connie in. John Houston up to P10. Monahan just outside the top 10, so he's having a pretty decent run, as is Kevin Miller. Triana running P13. Joe Lecor, who started pretty much near the back, he's up to P14. Got a little bit of damage to the front of that McLaren, but still putting in a good run, as is Brian Story in 15. Quite a battle here. Phil Hooks. On board Phil Hooks, Christian Hamilton. I believe that's Jack Ivey. Oh, and Liquid Lou. As these four guys running nose to tail. Christian having a look on the inside of Ivey. Little contact. Christian gets by. Now Phil looking to make the move on Ivey.
That's a gaggle of cars there.
Real tight here. John Watson battling with, as Mike Tressler. I don't know if he went off on his own or if he got some help. As Montgomery Jr. and Dan Wilkerson, I believe. Yep, duke it out here. Montgomery running P22. Let's follow this battle as Phil Hooks tries to get around Jack Ivey for that 18 spot. Jack. These four guys doing a great job. Sure, it looks like Lou must have gone off as he was ahead of these guys and finds himself behind Phil.
Just a little update. Stay where you are, but I just wanted to let you know David Raleigh is all over the back of Jaime Moore. They're having a good fight there, but definitely stay in the battle you're with. But David Raleigh's up in 6th. That's good signs for the team.
Phil Hooks with a great pass on Jack Ivey into one. Took it a little wide, but managed to hang on to it. It's a great pass by Phil. Wappen, Yato, and Lou going at it. Incredible battles. Deep in this grid. As Wappen takes a look on the inside of Lou, it's not going to have it. Debut run here at NAGP. Disconnected from qualifying, had to start from the back. I think he was up near the top 10 in qualifying. What a debut without getting dropped from this run. Dropping yourself.
Oh, Marty Urin has gotten past Chris Moses. I didn't see it. I just caught it now. Looks like Chris is going to try and make a pass back on him, though. Going into turn 1.
Going into 1. We just picked up on it. Chris on the inside. 17. Heading down the straight. Chris. Using all that curve. Take a look further up front. Alex White continues to lead this race. Got the lead from Prato. We're on lap 3. And he's starting to check out. Seeing Alex White's pace, what can someone like Andres do to try and close that gap or give himself a shot at a win next week?
Well, I think Andres just needs to learn. You know, he's obviously able to see now where maybe Alex is a little bit better than him. He needs to see if he can maybe change his setup to adapt to it. Maybe there's a little bit more in it that he can do, or make the car a little bit better. You know, basically that's about it. I mean, the other thing is he's still got to try and keep that tight gap, you know, so that if Alex does make a mistake, you know, he's there to pounce. I mean, he's only 1.8 seconds away. I mean, that's just all you have to do is screw up one turn and he's right back in it again.
So Dave Jaime Moore running in 5th, still able to fend off Rally. Rally not really, so far, not able to make up much time on Moore, who's got some incredible pace here this evening. Marco Connie and Juan Monroy. Monroy looking to make the move on Connie as these two fight nose to tail. David Poole not far off this battle.
They're just starting the beginning of the 7th lap.
Monroy taking a look on the inside. Yes. Connie is able to hang on to that position. That guy's dropping. Ooh, Monroy pushing hard. Runs wide. That's going to allow David Poole to get past for that 8th spot. See if Monroy can answer. Doesn't look like it. Poole says thank you. Made it easy for him. Now Poole's going to try and reel Connie in. Further back, Mikey Monahan and John Houston as Monroy takes it off track again. And now Houston's going to be able to take advantage, as is Monahan. He does. So Monahan now up into the top 10 and trying to get, really doing a number on Houston. Now Houston doing all he can to fend off Mike Monahan. Monahan quite racy here late in this one. Monahan might have a run on Houston here at the end of the straight. Tucks up behind him. Is able to get it done. He does. Nice pass by Mike. So Mike moves up to P9. David Poole battling with Connie. I saw that in the distance, and Poole gets the pass done. So wow, great pass by David in a tough area to go too wide at. So those guys having a great battle. So Poole gets the job done. So the gap between White and Prato now 2 seconds. Currently working lap 9 of 14. The schedule is 14. Ooh, Connie breaks himself and loses a bunch of time. So Houston still all over the back of Monahan. Let's take a look further back. Kevin Miller and Rodrigo Triana running 12th and 13th. Blue now. Not sure, I don't see Phil Hook, so something must have happened to Phil. Man, all that work he put in to get by Jack Ivy. And now finds himself out of the top 20, it looks like, as Lou losing ground to Alejandro Nieto. Ivy running 17th.
And Phil Hooks is back in 21st.
Jellicoe running 18th. Like Jellicoe must have had some problems as well, as he was up a little further up earlier on. Last time we saw him, Story's falling back.
Here's another update. I mean, Jaime Moore and David Rowley, they're just nose to tail. Rowley's trying every which way to get past Jaime Moore, and just can't get it done. He's putting a lot of pressure on him. He's pretty clean.
Just pick that up. Pressure from Rally on the back of Moore. A little mistake from Moore, and Rally will take advantage of that for sure. Rally, a little bit of mistake, loses a bit of time. But I'll tell you what, these guys, Jaime Moore, the Triana brothers, Preto, Monroy, and now Nieto, all these guys from Colombia, they do put in a lot of time, a lot of practice, so don't be surprised if you see these guys qualifying up further up in the grid. And well, we know what Monroy and Preto can do, but the other guys I mentioned, don't be surprised if you see them start competing for poles and victories in the future. These guys race for real, and it's just it's a matter of time for them to get used to the sim and the setup.
Yeah, and it just all comes down to how much time and practice you can put into it.
So all that work Rally put in has he's got it all to make up again, as he ran wide that last couple corners ago. Taking a look further up front, Alex White continues to lead. The gap's now nearly 4 seconds. Chris Moses and Marty Uren still duking it out. Chris hasn't let Marty get far away from him. After that pass Marty made for third. Now finds himself up to P7, all by himself, not much nobody in front or behind him, so good run by Dave to get by the guys he needed to get past, and unless something happens up front, he'll find himself starting 7th next week. However, Mark O'Connie now feeling the heat from Mikey Monahan. Monroy has gotten past John Houston, so this is for the 8th spot. We saw that pass Mikey made on Monroy earlier. Let's see if he tries to set him up again for that same type of overtake maneuver.
Starting lap 11.
Christian Hamilton running P14. It's a good run by Christian. And Alejandro Nieto in the top 15. Lou and Joe LaCour now going at it. Takes a look on the inside. He does not. Joe LaCour's got quite extensive damage to that McLaren. I'm sure it's not doing much for his turning ability, affecting the downforce in that car and his top end. So it's gonna hurt him down the straights. Looks like he's taking a look on the inside. Nope. Tuck underneath Lou and have a go at him here into the hairpin. Just can't get it done. Gotta hand it to Lou. He's doing a good job holding off Ian, and Jack Ivey as well, hanging in there with these guys. Jack Ivey currently in P18. Ian with a big bobble, and oh man, looks like he's good to go. It doesn't look like he has a puncher, but Ivy, as Ivy runs wide, had a bit of a run on Ian, but Ian came back on track, and Ivy nearly took it into the wall. That's got to give Lou a sigh of relief there, seeing Ian go off. Brian Story and Dan Wilkerson. Dan gets it off into the marbles and nearly he runs wide a bit. She didn't lose much time. Winds down. Oh, Schubeck's still out there running P22. Greg Myers back in 23rd. Greg unable to make up any ground. Greg driving the Ferrari this season. And Mike Trussler, looks like he had some contact. We saw him go off earlier, so he's back at 24th. Oh, Lochton's in the pits. A lot of guys. Quite a bit of attrition to start this season. Not what we want to see, but it'll happen. There's White starting lap 13, I believe. Oh, no, this is the final lap, if I'm not mistaken. As Chris Moses has gotten by Marty, and looks like Marty must have gotten off as Jaime Moore now moves up to P4, but Jaime Moore hangs on to it. Oh yeah, Marty's got some damage to the front of that McLaren, so Marty, not sure if there was some contact there or he went off on his own, but giving up that position in the points to Moses. This would be an incredible finish for Jaime Moore if he can finish where it is. Looks like we got a tire strewn on the side of the road there, not sure whose that belongs to. Rally was
Rich.
Dave Rally was close, but never managed to get close to Moore.
Hit the wrong button there. Sorry about that, Al.
Oh, that's all right. There's Alex White. We just pick him up now, taking the checkers flag to win the race, the sprint race. Brato's going to finish second. Moses third. But this battle, this is going to come down to the wire between Marty and Jaime Moore. And Marty saves his braking way too late. Is Rally going to be able to take advantage? No, Moore, what a finish. Going to finish fourth. He ran fifth. Rally sixth. Just couldn't catch up to Moore. David Poole is going to take seventh.
Oh, Houston might get a run on... maybe not.
Monroy. I'm sorry, Connie finished 8th. Great run by Connie. Monroy 9th. Houston 10th. Rodrigo Triano with a great run for himself, 11th. Kevin Miller, solid finish here in 12th. Oh, Monahan loses his front clip. Didn't see what happened. Is he ever gonna take the spot? He does as he squeezes Christian. So Mike gets that without his front clip. Christian 14th, Nieto 15th, Joe LaCour 16th, Mascarelli 17th, Ivy 18th, Wilkerson and Phil Hooks 19th and 20th, Schubeck 21st, Myers 22nd, Ryan Story's going to take 23rd. Mike Tressler 24th. Looks like that's going to do it. That's it. As Alex White takes the win here in the qualifying race. What a job by him.
Yeah, and Andres was able to stay within 3 seconds of him, so it's hard to say what's going to happen in the big feature race there. I think we're still in store for a pretty good race.
Let's see if we can get a word with Alex here. Hey Alex, do you copy? It's Rich and Al in the broadcast booth.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing? Great job tonight with a commanding performance in qualifying and a tremendous job there in the qualifying race. Did you think you had the field beat by a second plus?
I don't think it was quite a second. I thought it was like 0.95 something, because Andres improved towards the end. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that.
Yeah, we like to round up here.
Yeah, we'll go for a second if you like.
But tell us about that race. You had Andres with a great hole shot, got you there for the first few laps. But was it just a matter of time before you got around him? And how do you feel about his pace compared to yours for the 2-hour race next week?
Yeah, my start was completely awful, and Andres got ahead of me. Then tried to get past him. Tried a couple of things that I didn't quite try before, and it eventually paid off. And then I basically took it easy for a while, and only lost concentration once coming out the last corner, while going into the last corner. But yeah, Andres looks quite decent. I think he'll probably do quite well next week. Hopefully I do a bit better.
So, how do you feel after that race? You think you got a little bit to be worried about with Andres there, or anybody else?
Well, there's no bad drivers in this league at all. So championship is going to be hard work, but hopefully I do it. I want to beat Andres after him beating me last season.
Very understandable. And I also noticed your teammate was doing pretty well tonight. Actually, at one point, I thought he had a good shot at finishing fifth. Fell back a position, ended up, I think, sixth. But overall, that's a good run for your teammate. Hopefully, you can do that again.
Yeah, Dav isn't going to be here next week. I think we've got C substituting for him. But yeah, if Dav's race tonight is anything to go by, he's finally got the car working, which is nice. Might stop moaning about it soon.
No, and David's a good substitute driver to have fill in for you, especially since he's driven that car a lot.
Yeah, so hopefully next week we'll get some good championship, team championship points and hopefully a win. But it's never going to be easy.
Well, a dominating performance tonight, Alex, to say the least, both in the qualifying and in the race. So, very best of luck next week, and hopefully you come out of there with some either a win or some good points. So, good luck next week.
Cool, thanks. Thanks for doing the broadcast, as usual. It's excellent. Cheers.
You got it, thank you. Alright, Rich, there you have it. So, dominating performance from Alex White. It's going to be an interesting week to see some of these guys, especially Team Columbia, see what they can do to respond to that. If Monroy can finish up ahead of Rally in the points, then that'll be good for Team Columbia. But I just don't think they're going to have the pace to compete with those guys. Andre isn't going to have the pace to compete with White unless something drastic happens.
Yeah, I mean, especially the history of the Z4, it's good on fuel mileage. He has obviously got the pace. Maybe there's it all comes down to how much Andres has already done as far as setup wise. Maybe there's some more room in there to work on, tweak some things, but he's definitely going to have a hard time with beating Alex there.
All right, well, Rich, thank you very much for helping me out with the broadcast and sitting in for Brad. And hopefully you can do it again if Brad is not around, or if you just feel like joining us in the broadcast. We more than welcome you here. So, thanks again, and everybody else out there. Just next week, 9 p.m. is the 2-hour feature race from Sebring. So it should be if tonight was any indication of next week's event, it should be a great race. So we'll have GT1 Super Pole coming up Thursday night from Dubai. Jack Ivey, sorry, had a blank for a second. Jack Ivey will be doing the broadcast there, and hopefully y'all can tune in for that one. So until next week, Rich, thanks again, and we'll be back for some more action. See you then.
Sounds good, Al. Take care, everybody.